It's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.
Unity 93.3 FM and TV from the hills of ZINARIYA here in just North State, Nigeria. We are reaching you live. This is the voice of reason, and of course, from the home of peace and tourism. I am particularly very happy, excited. This is for nothing. Just because you are tuned to this very dial, and it promises to be very, very interesting. Thank you for always being there with us, and this program is your program and not mine. Yes, it must be yours before ever it becomes mine, and so thank you for always being there. In the studio this morning, I have Barrister Paul Zaruma, and as usual, he's coming your way with a very big good morning, so please stay tuned.
A very big good morning to viewers and listeners. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are receiving these signals from. Jos is beautiful, peaceful, and the weather is around 24 degrees Celsius. Very cool and beautiful. Do enjoy this program and have a wonderful stay.
As usual, we are starting from home. Let's look at those issues that we have in Plateau State, Nigeria. You know, Plateau is Nigeria. You know that, okay? So let's just begin to see how some of the things we have are trending on Plateau, okay? I think we have a guest that we're expecting in this state today, and it's a big one. It's a big shot.
Yeah.
So maybe we start from just how the town is looking already.
Yeah, the sound is bubbling with a lot of security up and down. If you are careful, you will observe that there are undercover security, and there are also military intelligence, and there are so many security all over the state. The state is well fortified, welcoming this wonderful great visitor that is coming to our state. You know, we welcome him. Jos is peaceful, Jos is beautiful, and Jos is calm.
Yes, Jos is peaceful, beautiful, and calm. What is as good as having a place that is peaceful and calm? Oh man, I think I love that. And I pray that this will be sustained, but this cannot be sustained without you having to tolerate the man just after you. Okay, learn to tolerate your neighbor. Tolerate even first yourself. If you don't tolerate yourself, there is no way you'll be able to tolerate someone else around you. Someone called me, and it was a shocking revelation during a city report this morning, Barrister. He said that people, have to pay some certain amounts of money, maybe 500 naira, before they are given fertilizer. I don't know what fertilizer, but since it was already on air during city report some 10-15 minutes ago, he made that shocking revelations. And well, I'm just trying to see it that the fertilizer said to have been distributed, given to farmers, and maybe is it that some people are turning it into a business venture, just having to get money from farmers. Just one measure for 500 naira. Imagine one measure for 500 naira. If one measure is for 500 naira,
the official fertilizer.
Not that yet.
Okay.
Not that yet.
Okay.
Not that yet.
Yes.
But we're just trying to say it's time for a lot of farmers are in for it at the moment, and then fertilizer is one thing you need to continue to farm. So if you're getting one measure for 500 naira and you're coming from a very far village just to come to where the distribution point to get some portion of it, then 500, you must have spent more than 1,000 naira some villagers to get on motorcycle before they come to get this 500 naira. Well, maybe you say just a thing there. We are not certain what fertilizer this is, but then it's something. Let's just start making noise about it before we even confirm what it is.
Yes. As usual, we normally start from home, and then that's very unfortunate if that's the case. We have not confirmed officially, but since people are
already on air,
since people are calling on air to lodge such kind of complaints, I think the government should look into it. It doesn't make any sense for someone, for instance, to travel from hinterland to come and just spend transport money to get a fertilizer, and after getting the fertilizer, you'll be charged 500 naira per measure, which what we locally call mudu. It's quite unfortunate. I think something drastic have to be done about that, and then we are also calling on the government to make sure that there are checks in terms of distribution. I know that the fertilizer that is being distributed, there is a token that is being followed, which is considered for transportation, offloading and loading. I don't know if at the time of distributing, the government did not make provision for that, but those that are saddled with the responsibility of the distributing these items are charging people a token for offloading, loading and offloading, and possibly transportation, because possibly the logistic did not cover movement to people's doorstep. But be that as it may, we are calling on those that are saddled with that responsibility not to take advantage of the situation, not to exploit citizens. We are all facing difficulties. Life is not easy. Things are very hard. People are going through a lot of things. So let us not add to the problem. If you will not be a solution, don't add to the problem.
If you will not be the solution, don't add to it. If you will not change it for good, in fact, leave it the way you made it. That's what it is. Thank you so much, Barrister Paul Zaruma. And in the studio this morning, well seated and readily available just to say one or two things to add value to humanity is Professor Poveno H. Bamayi. So stay tuned as he comes your way with nothing less than a big good morning once again.
Well, a big good morning to you, viewers and listeners, and to be Barrister Zaruma. It's a beautiful, wonderful morning. If you're in other parts of the world, good afternoon and good evening. It's beautiful and wonderful to be here this morning and to have could be back all the way from Miango. Hopefully he'll be updating us on his mission to Miango.
Exactly.
Viewers, this is viewers and listeners. We are already in the second half of 2024. How far have you gone with your goals, your objectives, your visions, your dreams? Here in Unity FM, for example, one of our dreams, one of our visions is the Unity FM farm. And we are just starting at the middle of the year. That is why I said yesterday, it doesn't matter. You can start now and you can still finish and complete and realize your dream and vision before the end of 2024. So how far? So far have you gone? Those your objectives, dreams, goals, visions, are they smart? Smart means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So how far have you gone with that album? That book you're writing, how far have you gone? What about that marriage proposal, marriage plans? How far have you gone about that trip abroad you wanted to undertake? How far have you gone about that house building project? How far have you gone about that new certificate you wanted to acquire? How far have you gone about that new skill, that new trade, that new investment? What have you done so far about it? Remember that there will be opposition. There will be resistance. But your persistence will break every resistance. Remember there will be difficulties. However, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Remember, there will be tough times, but tough times never last. Only tough people do. Remember, the winners don't quit. Quitters don't win. Remember, failure is not fatal. Success is not final. It is the will to continue that counts. So I encourage you, keep perspiring to acquire what you require. In case you don't acquire, don't retire, refire. And refire again. Refire again. A great man said, anytime I try and fail, I just try again. That's all. Just keep trying. And while you go about pursuing your goals, your dreams, your visions for 2024. Please remember to be the change that you want to see in the world.
All right, and some would say, think outside the box. Okay, and sometimes I would say, why don't you just blow off the box so that there won't be any other box to think outside of? Sometimes, Prof, this is because due to the frequent too many calls about the need to have food, and we were thinking outside the box, and we came up with the issue of having a farm. We'll go back to that later on, maybe the second segment. So we'll just continue with the main business of this very segment. Adamawa Governor Fintri declares free university educations for female students with 9 WAEC credits. I love this.
That's beautiful.
Okay, Benue community attacked by armed men, multiply death reported. Okay, another one say bandits demands 300 million to free abducted Kaduna judge, kill son. Sad one there. Benue insecurity, Alair imposes indefinite curfew on Okum. Benue youths protest the killings, block road local government office. Oh my.
Let's take some good news from Adamawa State.
Let's have it.
His Excellency Amadu Umaru Fintiri is given free university scholarship
Will he be able
to female students.
Yes.
He can. Somebody who has spent billions on projects. I think this is peanuts to sponsor female students. It's not every female student. They have 9 credits.
Yes.
So it would be maybe a handful.
yeah, sure.
It doesn't matter which university within the country they want to go to. Most of them probably want to study. Maybe in Adamawa State University or Modibo Adama University, Yola, or come to University of Georgia or some other university. They have scholarship already. So they don't need to think about paying school fees. They don't need to think about what is going to happen to them to take care of themselves, because the scholarship will also cover living expenses in terms of feeding, for these students. So this is a fantastic, wonderful package by His Excellency Amadu Umaru Fintiri. We hope that other state governors in the Northeast, North Central, Northwest will emulate him. Because this is laudable. Amadu Umaru Fintiri, His Excellency, the Governor of Adamawa State, if you look at his track record, and you look at how he has, from the time he was even in the House of Assembly, you look at his life and times and activities, you will know that he has been a man of the people. He has been a visionary. When he was an acting governor, then he was Speaker of the House, and the governor was removed, and then he had to be the acting governor for just 3 months. Within those 3 months, what the governor was not able to do for years, Amadu Umaru Fintiri did within 3 months.
3 months.
All the backlog of salary arrears, he just cleared them within that short period of time. In fact, that time, some legends had it that when people go to the ATMs, as the ATM is dispensing the money, what they hear is just Fintiri. So that made him very popular. That's why when he decided to become the governor, it was a walkover game for him. Now, his second term in office was a very tough match between him and Binani, because Binani is also an achiever.
Yes.
A woman of the people, a very, very philanthropic. Her track record follows her.
Yes.
But Amadu Umaru Fintiri, being a technocrat, what he did was to bring another woman to counter Binani. So he took the Vice Chancellor of Adamawa State University, who was a woman, loved by the people, Professor Kayatarwa George Farauta, and he brought her as his running mate and removed his male running mate. The former deputy governor removed him and brought a woman. Yes. So he divided the votes of the women, and he split Binani's votes, and that helped him to win, his second term in office. Now, this man is providing scholarship for women because he has always cared about female education in Adamawa State. Even when he was a speaker, even when he was an ordinary member of the House of Assembly. In fact, in his constituency, he has sponsored girls, so he did not start this today, so we are not surprised that he's doing this. We hope that he will sustain it, and we hope that even after he has left office in the next 3 years, the next governor will continue to give this scholarship and even expand it and increase it. If they can just get the basic minimum requirement to get to the university, let them be sponsored so that we can have many female professors in Adamawa State in time to come. We already have the deputy governor, Professor Kayatarwa George Farauta, and we have a few others, even a few of them here in the University of Jos. Hopefully in the future we can have many female professors from Adamawa State, and Adamawa State will be leading in terms of female professors in the whole of the north and maybe the whole of Nigeria, if he continues on this trajectory. So kudos to His Excellency Amadu Umaru Fintiri of Adamawa State.
One thing to say is about sustenance. And some of our callers will always call and say, okay, in terms of Plateau and GMDB's laudable effort at the moment, will it be sustained after this?
That's a good question.
Yes, and so that's it. So for Fintiri too, we pray that such will be sustained.
Yeah, sustainability, it also depends on who took over from him, and that's why you see, that's the advantage of if a particular governor brings a successor, but it also have its own unintended consequences. That's why we have been battling with here and there. But be that as it may, whether you are from a different political party or you are from the same political party, government ordinarily should be a continuum. Government should be progressive. It's quite unfortunate that in our climb, it is not always the case. If perhaps I don't like the face of my predecessor, I would not like to continue with the project that he started. Unfortunately, that project, he did not start with his own money. He started with public funds. Money, yes. So at least those projects should be completed. It is quite unfortunate that we have abandoned projects here and there. In fact, there are some projects were abandoned as far back as during the 80s and the 70s that are still abandoned here in Plateau State. And you can see that the legendary, our legendary stadium here at the Zaria Road. Once completed, it will be among the top 5 stadiums in Nigeria, the top 5 stadia in Nigeria.
Top 5.
So yes, top 5 stadia in Nigeria. It has one of the largest capacity, and the location is a very serene environment. When Plateau United played continental match some years ago, Cameroon came here, they played, but when Tunisia were coming, they watched the Cameroon match. They did a kind of a preview of the Cameroonian match and Plateau United. They saw that Plateau United have home support because the stadium was filled to the brim. In fact, some people couldn't even access the stadium.
All of these things
and the stadium is a capacity of over 40 to 45,000 capacity. So it's within the range of either 35 to 45,000 capacity. I've forgotten the range, but it's within that range. Now, it was filled to the brim, and then the advantage is that those chairs have not been fixed. So without those chairs, and Gombe United here in Plateau State, by Thursday, all the hotels around the stadium where there was no space. Journalists came, scouters came, other football clubs from the members came, different kind of people, and different categories of people were there. And then even supporters came from outside the state to come and watch the match. So you could see the economic advantage it brought to the state, So just imagine you have a team that is playing a continental match and doesn't have. Thank God the governor was there. It rained, and then also he also experienced how unpalatable it is to be in that stadium when it was raining. Even though the podium where he stayed, there was a small canopy to protect him from raining, but at least he saw where those who voted him, how they were beaten by the rain. So it's very important for continuity. Yes. We are calling on them to continue. Like when I was in law school in Kano, Konkoso, gave a scholarship to Kano citizens to go and study abroad. I am telling you, so many of them have come Kano to do a lot, to make a lot of impact in Kano State now, particularly those who went to study medicine and surgery. And there is one interesting thing that Konkoso did. At that time, there was a deficiency of medical staff in Kano. So he gave preference. So it was a kind of a strategic scholarship he gave. Yes. It wasn't a random scholarship. So today you could see there are so many female, and you know, at that time in Kano, you know, many most of the gynecologists are male. And you know, Islamically, it also have some connotations. So he trained so many female gynecologists to solve that problem. And then there are so many pilots and whatever. So it gave option. If you want to be attended to by a female gynecology, you can be attended to. If you want to be attended by a male gynecology, you can. So you can see this is what we call visionary leadership. This is what we call purposeful leadership. But when Ganduje came in, he short-circuited that project, and it didn't continue. But up to now, Kano State is still benefiting. So we are really celebrating Fintiri. Fintiri has been on the news recently for good reasons, and Adamawa has been making headline, not for crisis, not for insecurity, but for some of the landmark achievement. We here, we don't only criticize, but we celebrate those who are doing, even if it is little, we will celebrate it to encourage you to do more.
Yes, like you say, to conquer, so that was a strategic a thing to do, to have to sponsor or to give a scholarship, and in the same with Fintiri too, because if you look at it, the North is suffering in terms of having females in the, you know, they have, you know, it's like they're backward. They're not given that considerations, you know, to free flow of them to study educations and all that. But then, so for him to have given a scholarship to those who would score up to 9 credits in WAEC, I think that too is strategic, so as to give the women folks, you know, that opportunity to now excel.
You see, when we are talking about purposeful leadership, you know, sometimes ago in Gombe State, they will announce some vacancy in certain government agency. There will be no citizen of Gombe State that is qualified to fill in that place. But when Denjuma Goje came, he gave scholarship across board. Any course you are studying, he gave them scholarship. Today in Gombe State, if you are announcing a vacancy, in fact, there are people who are coming from other states to come and fill up Gombe Kota. So, but when Danjuma Goje, a purposeful and a visionary leader, saw that vacuum, he tried to fill in the vacuum. You know, he brought in Gombe State University. Apart from bringing in Gombe State University, he now gave scholarship to so many people, and across board. In fact, my friend who studies psychology here at University of just enjoyed that scholarship, and then they came. Today, if you announce a vacancy in Gombe State, I challenge you, you will see more than 200 people applying for that single thing. That is what we call vision. That is what we call purpose. And we are challenging our leaders to wake up to their responsibility.
That's lovely. So let's just get to talk about the killings in some part of Nigeria. But of course, when you mentioned the issue of the economic benefit for us on the plateau, having to come play some football here, you can imagine that too will lead us to getting to want to talk about the need to fix some of these hotels, like hill stations, for instance. And
we have an abandoned one on that Lamingo Road on the left. That huge, gigantic project.
It is that hotel is a 5-star hotel.
It pains me,
and it is in the scenery of the Lamingo Dam.
Yes.
From your room, you could see that beautiful scenery of the dam and the rocky, beautiful rocky green rocks, and you know, in fact, from the top you can even see as far as Shirye Hills.
Oh,
yes, you can see as far as Shirye Hills. Wow. You can have the view of Jute. Yes, Jute, because Jute is also a protruding building. So it's unfortunate that it has been abandoned.
It has turned into a den of robbers and quite criminals. Because people are staying there, lodging there. They've turned it into their own houses, makeshift, you know, apartments. They put sacks and canopies and just turn it into their houses. Go there, you see people staying there.
So GMDB will need to visit that place.
They need to not only visit, let's use this opportunity to call on His Excellency, the Governor of Plateau State, Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang. that project, if he can complete it, it will be a legacy project for generations to come. Wherever he can get money from, whether it's from the Caribbeans, whether it's from Germany or US or wherever, even if it means that we enter into an agreement with a foreign organization that completes that 5-star hotel, and we allow you to use it for 10 years, 20 years before we take over, it is worth completing. Because each time I pass through that place, my heart laments. That is a gigantic project, a huge hotel. And you can imagine how many hundreds of millions or billions have already been spent for it to reach that stage. Because it's a lot of concrete. It's a solid structure. That's why all these years it has not collapsed. In spite of all the rain for years, in spite of how people are misusing it, it has still remained solid. It's a solid structure. If we can complete it, I tell you, tourists that will be coming here from all over the world, they want to go and stay there. And we need to resuscitate Hill Station Hotel also.
There's a laudable effort towards that, I see, because I'm into it, and very soon one of theirs will come here and give us updates from first hand, and that is it. Well, can we talk a little about the killings there, so as to just mention a few things before time?
Unfortunately, we've had several killings. Benue State, 11 people were killed on Tuesday into Wednesday. And the youths have come out to block the streets and to protest. That's why a curfew, indefinite curfew, it's not 24 hours. It's from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. has been imposed indefinitely in Okum local government area of Benue State. Now, these killings, they said, is by some bandits. These bandits, whatever we call them, bandits, we call them terrorists, we call them unknown gunmen, we call them by whatever name, they have been on rampage, and the youths felt enough is enough. The government is assuring us that there is security. Go about your normal business, don't fear anything. You go out there and you're killed. You're killed on the farm. You're killed in your office. You're killed in your house. Look at what happened in Kaduna State. A female judge was kidnapped from her own house. The wife of Dr. Musa Gimba kidnapped from her own house when her husband, a medical doctor, went on call duty in the night. They kidnapped her and 4 of her children. One of those children, Victor Gimba, was killed on the 2nd of July because the family has not been able to pay the 300 million naira ransom. Can you imagine? These bandits and kidnappers are terrible. How can a family raise 300 million in this kind of economy? A judge, female judge, and husband, medical doctor, why would they get 300 million? I mean, do you think that they are the president of the country? Even the president of the country, can he remove 300 million, comfortably and just pay kidnappers? They killed the 14-year-old son, Victor Gimba, as a lesson to the family. Now they are threatening that they will kill more of the children. 3 of them are left, and the woman in captivity.
And you can imagine in this country.
Yeah, they're in this country. They're there in that Kaduna State. At best, they will be in a Kajuru forest or somewhere within the periphery of Kaduna State. They wouldn't have gone
Prof.
Prof. It is really sad. That is why something decisive must be done about security. Our security forces need to just go, if they can stay in those forests, and just make the forest their own houses so that we can have security.
Okay, Prof, we'll be coming back even on this very issue. Our listener and viewer, thank you for always being there. It's time for a commercial break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
It's sad.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It kill love, it kill dreams. It land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again.
Thank you. I'm so excited again. This is the second segment of Unity Trend on your radio this morning and TV. Isia the Monuments, my name, your regular anchor, and in the studio it has been Professor Pavano H. Barmayi and Barrister Paul Zaruma. And now let's just hit it running again and again. Instead of a topical issue, we'll just continue with the review segment even brought to this very one. So let's just do this together. There's this segment of this Unity Trend that is coming your way later on, and that's where you get to join the conversations, and I will beg that you stay tuned. Enjoy the ride. Right now, Prof, let's just go back to discussing this.
We're talking about insecurity. Within 1 week, could be viewers and listeners, we had the Goza suicide bomb blasts that claimed at least 32 lives, 40 injured. As of yesterday, 20 have been discharged from the hospital. And we had not even recovered from that. We've had series of kidnappings across the country. You know, our colleague, Dr. Thierry Gang, a lecturer with Federal University, Dutsima, Katsina State, was shot dead, and his children kidnapped. We have not finished talking about that. This morning we're talking about the female judge, Janet Gimba, that was kidnapped along with her 4 children, and one of them killed. The firstborn son was shot dead, by these bloodthirsty terrorists. We have not even finished. We're talking about Benue State. Bandits went and killed 11 people at once. We don't even know whether the death toll has risen. And you have to carry the dead bodies, go to their local government secretariat and display it for their political leaders to see. You said you have provided security, we should go about our normal business. Look at the corpses of people who went about their normal business. They have been killed. How long are we going to continue to have this incessant security crisis, violence, killing, kidnapping in the country? And our political leaders, anytime these things happen, will assure us that there is no problem. They have taken care of the situation. Security forces will tell us, no problem. The police leadership will come out and say, go about your normal business. The situation is under control. We're on top of the situation. You're on top of the situation and people are dying every day. You're on top of the situation. People are being kidnapped every day. You're on top of the situation and we don't have peace and security in the country. What situation are you on top? Are you on top of the situation, or the situation is on top of you? When we keep deceiving ourselves that there is no problem, we will not solve this problem. We must admit that there is a fundamental problem. Now look at the family of Dr. Musa Gimba. The son killed. That family can never remain the same again, no matter what happens.
No matter what.
Losing their first son in a most brutal, barbaric, satanic, evil, criminal manner. Killed, shot dead by bloodthirsty, criminal, wicked, satanic, evil devilish terrorists. And then how can that family ever recover? And they're asking for 300 million. 300 million. Where will he get it from? From the sea, from the river? From where will he get 300 million?
Prof, it may interest you to know that after killing the child, they now reduce the ransom to, they remove 2 million from the ransom.
Can you imagine?
So they are now asking for 398 million. 298 million.
Can you imagine?
So it is quite unfortunate. You know when before coming to this studio, I saw the picture of that family driving bicycle together, enjoying themselves doing a kind of exercise in the morning. 4 of them, the father and 5 of them, the father and the 4 kids. But unfortunately, this evil, barbaric people just came in and stole that peace and stole that family joy. It is quite unfortunate, and the effect is it has ripple effect. Now the doctor cannot go to hospital and treat other people, and then the judge also will not be able to go to court and then dispense justice. So you can see the ripple effect of this criminality, and then it's so ridiculous that you see government going outside that they want to woo investors. We said it here yesterday.
Yes.
You cannot. Which investor will come and invest under this?
Stories of
the kidnapping, this kind of brutal killing, this callous, barbaric incidences all over the place, and you expect somebody to leave his peaceful country and come and invest his resources here, apart from other corruption, unstable policy, and so many terrible things happening in the country. Which investor will come? In fact, as they are wasting public money going to woo investors, many foreign companies are leaving this country.
Yes.
Many, name them. Many have just from January to now. How many foreign countries have left? So you have not even sustained the one that is surviving. And you are chasing the wind. So it's unfortunate, that what is happening in this country. It's quite unfortunate. And then the security have to wake up. They have to change strategy. We know that they are trying. We know they are doing their best, but their best is not good enough since it's not yielding any result. It appears these terrorists are getting emboldened by the day. There should be change of. We keep on saying that intelligent gathering is very, very key. Very, very important. And then we also emphasize that e-security should not be politicized. The issue of security shouldn't be politicized at all. I remember some years back, I think was it during Goodluck Jonathan or so, in Kano airport, an Iranian plane was caught with kachi of weapons, different caliber, and different kind of military wear. But we never had anything about it anymore.
It was swept under the carpet.
So you can see these are some of the things that gradually metamorphoses and brought us to where we are today. These are serious issues. Even was it yesterday or day before yesterday in Lagos, another shipment of item was also arrested with laden with different caliber of modern weapons. You begin to wonder: are we in a war? That people are bringing this kind of weapon. So the government really need to wake up on her responsibility and make sure that a primary responsibility of taking care of security, to take care of the citizen in terms. People are not secured, people are hungry, people are suffering, people are living in fear, and then how will you expect people to be patriotic, for Christ's sake? People cannot be patriotic. Patriotism is when your country is meeting up with certain responsibility and you feel you need to respond by paying back. So that's where patriotism comes. That is why you see many Nigerians, they are not patriotic because they felt that they are disappointed in the entity called Nigeria. And then truly our leaders have failed. In the face of all this, they are talking about private jets and whatever to add to the presidential fleet for their personal aggrandizement. Can we continue like that? Can we grow as a country? What sacrifice are the leaders making? They keep on requesting, keep on demanding the citizens to make sacrifice. What sacrifice are they making? And then when it comes for campaign, they campaign heaven and earth. They will do this, they will do that. When they come into power, the first thing they will start giving excuses and justify why they couldn't fulfill why they cannot fulfill their campaign promises. It's quite unfortunate, and it keep on going round and round and round. And then again, back to the citizens. These things should tell us that leadership is not about religion. Leadership is not about region. Leadership is not about ethnicity. Leadership is not about a brotherly or sisterly relationship. You know, leadership is about voting the right people there. Because when they come, you know, they deceive people with religion, they deceive people with ethnicity, they deceive people with region. They say it's our turn, it's our, you know, before you know it, you know, those people that normally point at those indices, it usually end at themselves. You know, when we gathered now today, let's say myself and Prof and Kulbi, we are contesting. The first thing, you know, I will say, okay, I'm from this state, so let me take advantage of that. The next thing I will say, I'm from Jos, let me take advantage. The next thing, if Prof, for instance, is a Muslim or Kulbi, I will say, okay, I'm a Christian. Then before you know it, if after we come to the committee of Christians, I will now say, okay, let it come to my denomination. When it goes to my denomination, the next thing is, let it come to my tribe. When it comes to my tribe, the next thing is, let it come to my clan. When it comes to my clan, the next thing is, let it come to my family. Then the next thing, it pointed at me. So you see, all these indices lead to selfishness. So it's selfishness that is making people, any politician that is projecting ethnicity, religion, regionalism, and what have you, is not someone who have the interests of this country at heart. He doesn't have anything to offer. If you come to campaign, do issue-based campaign. And once the Nigerian citizens are able to learn, it may interest you to know that despite the insistence of Labour that tariff hike should be reviewed, the tariff hike has been increased yesterday. Can you imagine? Yes, tariff has been increased yesterday. So you can see that we don't even know where to start. We don't, you know, you don't know where to start. I think it was at 206.80. Now it has been increased to 208.50. So kilowatts. You know, it's quite unfortunate. So if Labour have started shouting and say, you want to kill Nigerians with this, we have not finished with this. We have not even settled the issue of minimum wage. You are not increasing tariff, and then particularly they say the increase is also limited to the ban A feeders as usual. So that's what the spokesperson was explaining.
Do you know that University of Jos is in darkness as we're speaking? Total darkness for 2 days, 2-3 days. We've not had light at all because the university cannot afford to pay the 80 to 100 million that JED is charging every month. Every month. The university has said, please remove us from ban A. We're not even enjoying ban A electricity. You say we're in ban A. Take us to ban B or C or somewhere. They have refused. Up to this moment, they have refused to remove us from the ban A. And we cannot pay the bill. Because how much does the university get from the federal government to run expenses in a month? If the federal government of Nigeria tries so much, maybe they will send 14, 15 million to the university in a month if the university gets to see it. Now that 15 million, you will use it to pay 80 million. That 15 million, you will use it to provide water. That 15 million or 14 million or 10 million that is coming from the federal government, you will use it to clean your environment, to do sanitation, to clear the grass. You will use it to fumigate the premises. You will use it to buy diesel. You will use it to put fuel in official vehicles and maintain those official vehicles. You will use it to run all the activities of the university within that money. And that money is not even enough for just one item out of all this.
Yes.
And you want the university to survive? University of Nigeria and Nsukka is crying. Ahmadu Bello University is crying. University of Maiduguri is crying. In fact, there was a time Ahmadu Bello University was in darkness for 3 months. It was the federal government that offset the bill and paid before electricity was restored. Now, you can imagine what is happening. Yet, in the midst of all this, no minimum wage has been agreed. And ASU is being owed arrears that have not been paid. The salary of ASU has not been increased for more than 15 years. NASU salary has not been increased in 15 years. SANU salary has not been increased. And SANU and NASU arrears have not been paid. They're threatening that today they might be calling for an indefinite strike. SANU and NASU. Yet in the midst of all this, like Barrister said, they're talking about presidential jet. Do you need a presidential jet? The president of Zambia disposed presidential jet. The president of Malawi disposed presidential jets. How many African presidents even have a single presidential jet? Do you know that one of the richest organizations on earth is the Catholic Church? But the Pope still enters Air Italia. He's not using his own private jet. He still travels through Air Italia.
That is also.
Can't the president travel through any of these commercial trains, commercial planes? Can't he enter Ethiopian airline? Can't he travel through Air Nigeria if they revive it and have it? Must he have a private jet? Is it a necessity? Is it something desperate that if he doesn't have it, he's going to die today? Why does he need a private jet? As far as I'm concerned, the president of Nigeria does not need a private jet. He doesn't need any private plane. What for? He doesn't even need to travel around the world. To do what? Today, in today's world, the world is a global village. You can attend meetings online. You can network online. You can defend your thesis online. You can do external examination online. You can do everything you want online. Minimize all this jetting around the world, because the president might be interested in breaking the record of Obasanjo, so that they will say he's the most traveled president in the history of Nigeria. What has all the journeys? Please tell me one thing that the journeys of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the last 1 year, he has traveled to at least 20 countries. What has it brought to Nigeria? Nothing.
Okay.
And our politicians that we're talking about, can't they make sacrifice for a better Nigeria? Can they please go and dispose those 160 million SUVs that each of them is having, and please transmit that money, let it be added so that there can be minimum wage and some living wage for Nigerian workers? Can they cut their salary, slash it by 70% so that Nigerians can breathe? Can they stop all those humongous, huge allowances they are collecting so that Nigerians can have a more meaningful life? If you are saying that we don't have money in this country, and yet we look at your life, you are living flamboyantly. We look at your life, you are living lavishly. Who is going to believe you that Nigeria has any economic problem? Who is going to believe you that we don't have money in this country? That's why when you go to the US, nobody is going to give you any loan, or you go to Germany, except maybe China and some places that will be interested in controlling and taking over, part of your country in time to come. Who is going to give you a loan? You are telling people that you have economic problem, and yet they look at you. You are traveling. You have 50 aides that you are going with to Geneva. Who is going to believe you? That's why you see sometimes when we leave this country and then you apply for certain scholarship, they will tell you are from Nigeria. You are not a poor country. Some of our friends wanted a certain scholarship. They said Nigerians are not included. We said why? They said Nigeria is not a poor country. That scholarship is for poor African countries. So Nigeria is excluded. Now, because the impression we give the world by this lavish, flamboyant kind of lifestyle of our politicians, who are some of the most well-paid, highest paid politicians on earth, are Nigerians. We tell the whole world that we have all. And then look at it. Kenya is protesting. The youths are out on the streets. What is happening in Nigeria? Nigeria is passing through 10 times, 20 times what Kenya is passing through. But yet, Nigerians were just relaxed. Sometimes I think Nigeria should be a topic that should be researched and studied. Because if you see what Nigerians pass through and they're still smiling and laughing while they're dying, I mean, it is unbelievable that Nigerians will be suffering and will still be laughing. In fact, they asked a renowned man, Dr. Butrus Gali, when he was leaving the United Nations, having been Secretary General for 2 terms, where will he want to stay? Of course, US. If you have a second chance to stay in another country, where will you want to stay? To the shock of the journalists, he said Nigeria. They said, what? How comes Nigeria? He said, Nigeria, that country amazes me. That you will hear that Nigeria is on fire. They're killing. The next day you go there, they're dancing. Can happen. There can be a spark and the whole country can be on fire. But our politicians have refused to learn. Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians are starving. There is food inflation. Nigerians cannot feed. What is the president doing about it? What are our senators doing? Why are they still sitting in that red chamber, in the green chamber? What are they making noise? We want action. Nigerians want to see food to eat. Nigerians want to have a living wage. We want to see employment. Enough of all the noise and all the bills and all that. All that, what has it amounted to the ordinary Nigerian? How has it helped the widow, the orphan? How has it helped the woman who is selling vegetables, selling tomatoes on the street? How has it helped the woman selling kose? Those people have not been empowered. Their lives have not become any different. Their lives have become worse than it was.
Okay.
And that is why our political leaders must arise and do something decisive. And in this matter of security, our security forces need to act. They talk too much. There is failure of intelligence. How can people come in and bomb Gaza and you did not even know that they were coming? How do people come and they kidnap? That judge, about 15 kidnappers came to the house of one person. Our security did not know. How can Nigerians be living in their own country and they are not free? They cannot ride bicycle freely on the street. They cannot go and do sports and run, do some jogging on the street. They will be kidnapped. Their phones will be stolen. They will be killed. In your own country, you are not secured. You need to go to a foreign country and feel a sense of security. I mean, our security forces, we've said it again and again, we need to be more proactive. Why don't they take over those forests? Why don't they take over Sambisa, for example, turn it to a tourist attraction, station a huge military school in that place, take over the whole of Sambisa forest? Why do we still have ungoverned places all over this country? Don't we have a government? And the primary responsibility of the government is the welfare and security of the people.
Prof, maybe let's wind this down. The tempo is high and it's a good one already for a conversation in a time as this. But then let's look at this issue. There has been this issue of Japa syndrome, you having medical doctors and other experts, leaving the shores of this country. Now, let's talk about indigenous investors as well. Those who are still investing in this country and that are from this very country, do you think if they will have a chance, they will prefer to invest outside this country?
Our indigenous investors, I salute them. They are men and women of integrity, men and women of caliber, men who love this country. Sometimes I ask myself, what is Dangote still doing in Nigeria? What is Otedola still doing in Nigeria? What is Rabiu still doing in Nigeria? What are these people still doing? Because they will have made 10 times, 20 times, 100 times more money if they go to other places. Because Dangote, his companies, his investments have been attacked several times. He has lost money again and again. He has even been frustrated sometimes by the system. But yet, he has remained. Same with Otedola and all the others. These people are nationalistic. They are trying that they have remained in this country. Do you know that some of them, they are calling them to come to Kenya to invest? They are calling them come to Tanzania. Some of the big-time multi-billionaires here in Nigeria, their headquarters is in South Africa. Their headquarters is in New Zealand, in Australia, in US, in other parts of the world where they feel more secure. They only come visit Nigeria and they leave. But our indigenous investors who have remained, we need to salute their courage. Okay, we need to celebrate them.
Before we step away from this again, let's look at the efforts of big shots politicians who have what it takes to have an investment outside this country. Do you think they are stationed, having their investment in the country, or you have seen it that they travel elsewhere and prefer to have it there?
Well, the politicians, Barrister, talk about the politicians.
When we're talking about the politician investing in the country, I don't think our politicians are investing in this country. Let's start with some years ago, during Obasanjo's regime, the debt of Nigeria was cancelled. And the essence of cancelling that debt was for Nigeria to focus on development and rejuvenate herself. But unfortunately today, we have sleepwalked into that again. So you can see that we are not even ready. And I don't blame, it's very unfortunate. I'm not in the school of thoughts of these people that blame foreigners for our who. I blame us for our own undoing. I don't blame outsiders. Because as you are pointing one finger at them, the remaining four are pointing at you. So they are not the one inviting us to go on medical espionage there. I said espionage, tourism. Because if it is espionage, it would have been better. because that's what China did to be where they are. If they see any new technology, they will send you to school abroad, but you are not actually going there to school, but you are going there on an espionage. You are going there to steal technology and import it back to the country. But are we having the same thing? I can't imagine our politicians will go to Europe, go to US, go to all these places, Saudi Arabia, go to United Arab Emirates, see the kind of development is in that place, and still come back and sleep. You know, I don't know what kind of human being they are. We have as leaders. At least those things should challenge you. Those things should spoil you. Those things should push you into saying, "Oh, I want to replicate that in my country." Now in Nigeria, at the 21st century, you don't have a drinkable water. You don't have access to water in Nigeria, 21st century. And we keep on celebrating Nigeria is 40-something years, Nigeria is so years. If they say the fool of 40 is a fool forever, but God forbid, we pray that Nigeria should do better. It's quite unfortunate.
You're not saying that Nigeria is full anyway. It's
you know, it's quite unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. So you can see that, you know, our leaders have failed us. Now we are talking about a university, a whole university, not accessing light. So what is the essence of establishing other universities? To me, Nigeria should stop establishing university. Even people that are calling, come and establish university for us, come and establish university. If the university is not going to be effective and viable, what is the essence? It's just an unnecessary duplication. And you know, if we cannot continue like that and have a developed and a progressing country. Let's look within, correct some of these things. Our leaders must make sacrifice. Right. How can you say you are ill, you travel abroad for treatment, and a country that has been in the, for now, at least in the Fourth Republic, is over 20-something years now, because the Fourth Republic started in 1999, and now today we are in 2024. So and then we still have leaders going for treatment abroad. Then you cannot say Nigeria is a failure. Nigeria is a failure. You cannot. What is happening to our hospital? Can we have, for instance, our governor being treated in Plateau Hospital or Jute? Can we have our president being treated in the National Hospital? Why is our president going to another people's national hospital? People who have fixed their own countries, and then you turn out to blame them. You cannot blame them. These are people who we went there, collected. In fact, Abacha loot now. They are now afraid to bring part of Abacha loot because they said Abacha loot is being relooted. So you can see this is why the problem is. Well,
Nigeria is not a failure because we're still.
No, Nigeria has failed. Country. We have to admit that we have failed. Go back to the drawing board, re-strategize, and start all over again. But if it is failure, Nigeria has failed. How many graduate on the street without job? And if you want to start a menial business, they will frustrate you with bureaucracy. NAFDAC will come, standard organization will come, CAC will come. Before you know it, in fact, now, even as a corporate entity to even open a bank account, you know what it takes to open a bank account? A company that have not even started operating, they will say you need a school certificate, you need this, you need that, you need... You know, so they have already frustrated you even before you start the business. So you can see how terrible the country is. Yes.
Right. Thank you very much, Barrister and Professor. Viewer and listener, it's time again for another commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again.
Thank you so much for staying tuned with us on this very station, and this is Unity Trend on your radio and TV. Isia the Monuments, my name. Could be if you like, and I'll be just fine. Professor Paveno H. Bamaye is in the studio, and Barrister Paul Zaruma. This is the last segment. You can join us now via our studio line and also on our Facebook page at Unity Radio FM/TV. Just drop your comments there. I'll get to read them later on. For text messages, it's 0808-478-9999. Thank you for being there. Before I pick your calls, permit me to say a little about the Unity Farm. It's a big one. By tomorrow, gentlemen in the studio, I hope to receive the budget being read on so that we all have a picture of what the budget, what we are to spend for this farm. But interestingly, the farm finally, it's in a place where Governor Mutfwang sent tractors to plow. You know, I don't know much about some of these farming activities, but then they gave us, in fact, if we can have 3 hectares, is there for us, ready. But then, do we have the money ready yesterday for just yesterday's transports? I know how much we spent for that, so we'll get the budget, and then we now know how far so far, because it has to be this week or we leave it for this rainy season. So that's what it is at the moment. But then, we're given a portion. If you can do 2 hectares, that is left at our discretion, but then it's okay. So that's the little I have for it. Everybody's in support. The farm was given to us not for anything, but because of the idea to support people who will need to have food for themselves just any time. That is it. So gentlemen, what do we do right now? Because
we have to move into action immediately because it's getting late. Some of us are farmers. We've already planted. If you're planting soya, it's better done. It's getting late.
That too is getting late.
Maize is already rising, you know, and so I don't think we can even plant maize. You know, potatoes, we can. Give it a shot. But today is already 4th July. It has to be done now. Because the rainy season, we just have July, August, September. So it has to be done immediately. And that's why we are appealing to viewers and listeners. Thank you for those who have contributed, who have donated. Others, please, let's donate to this noble cause. Could be we'll later call out the account number and the details. Let's donate generously so that this can be done. In fact, you might not have money to give. You can give us the seed. You can give us the seed, and we can plant. Give us the soya seed. Give us the potatoes to plant. And then, before you know it, you will have reduced some of these expenses. If we have one person brings a mudu of soybean seed, another brings another mudu, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 mudus, more like that. Before you know it, we've covered the hectare. Because hectare is about 2.5 football fields. It's pretty large if it is for soya alone, but at the same time, it is not so large. It's something that we can do very easily. You may want to donate maybe herbicides. You may not have the cash, but you might say, okay, the herbicide I used, some of it is left. Let me give it out. I need to check. I planted some soya. I think I have some seed left, so it could be whatever seed I have left, I can, give it. Could be they can go and start planting it. The most important thing is to get the land ready.
The land is
Once
ready.
the land is ready, it has been plowed for soya. Even you don't need to do much really. Soya is highly resistant and enduring and can do relatively well in on land that some other crops might not do well. So please donate the money that is needed for this laudable project. Let's set the pace. Let's set an example. By the time we've done this successfully, you'll see other media houses will also have their own farms.
Yes.
And we are not in competition with anybody. We'll be happy if all the media houses will go and get farms and then use the proceeds to help the community.
Yes.
We'll have achieved, a lot by being the ones that we set the pace and others follow. In the voice of reason, Unity FM. So
yes.
It's a fantastic thing. Please, viewers and listeners, be part of this project.
All right, that's lovely. We'll hear in a minute from Barrister before we call out the names.
Yes, it is a laudable project. It's part of Unity FM and TV, social corporate responsibility in order to cushion the effect of the suffering of the people of Plateau. We are calling on spirited individuals to join in making this vision a success. We are also calling on people. Prof have said it all. If you have seed, it must not be money. If you have tractor, you want to support, your tractor can work for some hours on the field, on the land. You are welcome. You can contact us so that we have already gotten the land. And time is fast against us. So time is not a friend this time around. So we are calling and encouraging people to key into this laudable and wonderful
And in
project.
fact, yesterday I met the tractor, the private tractor, because that of the government already did the plowing and then left already. So they were like, theirs, the budget would be ready by tomorrow, but theirs already, they said they will be doing it at about 150 or about 1,000. We didn't say anything more than that because we need to come back and then continue the conversations because right now as we speak, they are already doing some works, for other people around our own farm, Unity Farm there today. So how I wish we already have ours so that they will just proceed and do our own too, and then we'll just go and start the next thing to do. But then God is still God, even in this, as we respond. Let me read out this name very quickly, then we begin to pick your calls. Paveno H. Bamayi, I have Ige Daniel Gani, I have Okoli Innocent Woma, I have Nweze Friday Emeka, I have Aishatu Kabir, and Adewumi through Nwachi Nemelu Stores and Christiana Nenpin Polit. Okay, these are the people whose our donations has reached the accounts, which I'll be reading right now. If you are sending, this is the account number, is an OP account number 808-478-9999. The number again, 808-478-9999, and the name is Beatrice Adamu EG. Beatrice Adamu EG. That's what you see there. Just send it and I'll receive it. I get to compile the list. Thank you.
So we need some good amount of money because you're talking 150,000 for plowing even alone. So
for now.
We'll be talking about money in hundreds of thousands if our listeners, viewers can begin to send in some wonderful amounts of money so that this can be done. And some people might want to donate their strength to go and work on the farm.
Yes.
And if you're doubting Thomas, you can say, no, before I give you 100,000, I want to see the farm.
Yes.
You can come to Unity FM radio station so that you can go and see the farm. In fact, you can go and stay in the farm if you want it tomorrow.
And we will appreciate.
And it's fantastic. And the location is Miango. And it's in a secured location because that's a military shooting range location. So it's secured by the military. So please, let's do this together. Let's give, let's donate, let's give some fantastic amounts of money, and then let's get done with this project.
Yes. Thank you very much. This one says, good morning, great minds in the studio. I want to believe that the remote causes of hyperinflation in Nigeria is insecurity. If people go to farm freely without the fear of being killed or kidnapped, the food price would come down automatic. We can not continue doing one thing on and expect different results. Please, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, secure our lives. That is all we ask for, and we will feed ourselves. Thank you. 0703235315 is the studio line, and you can call and tell me your name and location, and of course stick to the vision promoting peaceful coexistence, and that's what it is. Let's just begin to pick your calls right now. Still on Facebook, I have few messages already. I'll be reading them. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you. Your name?
Yeah, my name is Sadiq Kumar. I'm calling from Shirye.
You have a minute. Let's go, Sadiq Kumar.
Yes, I want to comment the director in the house and the press in the house that very, very well.
All right.
You see, the failure of system of government in Nigeria is something that has been since the emergence of our democratic system. You see that most of these politicians, the policy that they are bringing not good for the people. You see that it's based on their own interest. They have put away national interest and they have put on personal interest on the excuse of the masses. That is why we always get it wrong. And especially in this kind of administration, it's from the last regime. Nigerians have been taking a trouble in their economy. We have seen how the last regime have borrowed a lot of money to Nigerians, whereby we have not seen what is the impact of the money. We need to dash out money to the people, and it has not yielded the result, and it's a way of getting away with corruption.
Thank you.
This administration also, there is a lot of expectation that this will be good. For this, the removal of subsidy, it is a very, very shocking one that the NLC are crying, the ASU are crying, the NASU are crying, and the economic is not intact. So we don't know what is the road forward.
Mr. Sadiq, thank you.
And our leaders have to do the right thing to make sure that we get it right. And we are calling on the people to make sure that we make the support, especially in this new farm project, which is a very, very good one. And we are calling on the people that farming is the only thing for food security. And that's the only challenging that people are facing at the grassroots. Thank you very much, God bless.
Thank you, Sadiq Umar. And for favor, Esther Bolu say great work out there on Facebook. And again, still on Facebook. This one is from Anna Scala Kashere. Say good morning, my beautiful analyst in the house. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling.
Fatai calling from Nasarawa.
Fatai, it's good to have you. You have a minute, please.
Please, I want to greet the barrister in the house.
Good morning.
And the truth is very clear. The problem we have in this country, when we say corruption, some people will not even understand what we mean by corruption.
All right.
And the result of the corruption is the result now we are facing now.
Okay.
You know, when we say corruption, most of the people will not know. But when we say the thieves and they are stealing our money, don't know, around. Because that's the thing that is causing problems. A youth doesn't have the work brain. Some people don't have a good our leaders, they are not helping us. And by the time the leaders are not doing well, a lot of people will be coming, they will have a challenge.
All right.
In this country.
Thank you.
Now, I know I'm a person physically challenged, and I'm hungry for my life. The son don't have anything doing. Is that how we are going to continue with our life? This never we are talking about is most of the people that steal our money, that one that buys never. So how will they have a sympathy for us?
Okay, we won't let you continue with such a name to our leaders, of course.
I think he is right. A corrupt person is barao. So there is no any other word you can call a corrupt person. When you stole government fund, it's barao. When we talk about abatas relooted, sata tasa chisata. It's barao.
You know what?
So that is
generalized,
so there is no,
of course. It's generalized. If you put it
no
in
generalization. Yes, or
stigmatization
or stereotyping.
Doing well.
We don't stereotype.
So
we don't generalize. So
that is it.
Yes.
So when you say our leaders, so we don't encourage that, because we have many of them at least are doing a great job there and really making it well. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
He wants to answer. Just go on.
Are you with me?
Please, just go on, please, in a minute.
Okay, thank you. You see, the barrister has said, if the government provides logistics for the fertilizer to get to the final user, that is what we are talking about. You see, they make it clear that each one will be having 40 bands. At the end of the day, what is being done? What I'm saying, you are being given a mudu of fertilizer, and they will tell you have to bring 500 naira for the transportation they use in bringing it back to your location. That is what we continue talking about. You see, they continue disturbing us about we should go away from our local way of farming, of our local way of rearing cows, going to what do they call it?
Is it ranching?
Or any other thing?
Ranching,
what
yes.
they black putting the cars before the horse. What are they doing on ground? Let me tell you, the first time the government released the fertilizer, somebody in Agwaruba was arrested by the security agents. Is there anybody in Agwaruba? How did the fertilizer get to Agwaruba? How did the whole thing surprise? So whether we like it or not, we have accepted what we don't have the attitude to crisis. That is why I told you that Nigeria should be educated. Where is the problem of the chairman?
All right.
You don't know. Why do you have the government are they not giving money from Nigeria?
Thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Okay, good morning, the great minds. It's funny that our politicians are competing for the negative impact instead of doing what will bring development to the country, but insisting on buying private jets to the president for crying out loud. What will this add to the country like Nigeria or to the masses who are looking for what to eat on daily basis? Haba Jama'a, who does us for this country? Azi Felix George Crested, fellow from Lukubaro. Thank you, Azi. Another one on Facebook. Good morning, gentlemen in the studio, and special greetings to Prof. Bamayi and Barrister Zaruma. Thank you for always telling our leaders the truth. Nigeria is facing a lot of problems ranging from insecurity, poverty, inflations, and so many other problems, but we should not cause our leaders, rather we should pray for them and to continue to tell them the truth. If they succeed, we succeed together. May God give them the wisdom to make the right decisions. Muhammad Tajuddin from Naraguda. Thank you, Muhammad Tajuddin. And I think that's too much I'll be able to take on today's edition from Facebook, except the SMS here is that too much as well. So let me see. This one say, good morning, Unity FM and Kubi, Prof. B and Zaruma. The day is bright and the joy. Tread and happy no matter the conditions. You people are doing a great job. Keep it up. Daniel Adam from Satellite Market, 1 man, 1 farm, 1 woman, 2 farms. The Good Morning Unity FM programs presenter is like you choose to call. Okay, I don't get this one too well. This one says, good morning, Kubi, amiable, consistent, and passionate analyst, Professor Bambayi, and objective barrister Zaruma. The government really needs to take drastic and conscious deliberate actions about security, insecurity before we are all consumed in this country. Imagine how this innocent young promising boy Victor Gimbal was killed by this barbaric, wicked kidnappers. Enough is enough. The government should do the needful by providing security, and security agencies should give these humans, eternal animals, a bloody nose. Peace is priceless. Let's live in peace. Christy Zhang from Rukuba Road. Good morning, Mr. Kobe, Professor PH, and Barrister. We sincerely appreciate you guys. Honestly, Prof, your smart formula is absolutely up to stand, especially if you have God-fearing and make a lot of prayer. All people who die in hands of insurgents, may their souls rest in peace. Amen. And this one is from Ismail Isa Chos. Thank you, Ismail Isa. Good morning, Kobe, Prof B, and Barrister. Welcome. Okay, well done for your great job, and more bless on already. The good work of JMDB is crippled by hungry, corrupted officials by collecting bribes. It's so hard to sustain. Musa Madoya Gangari. Okay, Musa Medoya from Gangari. Thank you, Musa Medoya from Gangari. Okay. Another one here say, good morning, Kobe, Barrister Zaruma, and amiable Father Professor Bamayi. Say, Allah, morning, Daddy. We are still waiting for the swearing in of our remaining 7 members. Please, it's long overdue. Boniface, La Long can enter way. Jikan Tinibu from Ongwan Gada. Thank you. A happy and blessed day to you all, Kobe, Prof, PH, Bamayi, and Barrister Paul Zaruma. Thank you for so much for the work and sacrifice you do for humanity. I'm so sad to be a Nigerian where elders, that is political leaders, sit and watch a pregnant God in labor deliver her young with rope and her neck while they are busy with less important issues. Just yesterday, some told me he eats once a day. Some cannot pay for drugs when they are sick or food their bills. Yet we have leaders who kind of country is this? I agree with Barrister Paul that Nigeria has failed. Past friends in Fred in Jos. All right. There is no more time for this. By tomorrow, we get to read all of this still. Thank you. Gentlemen, let's hear a response even as we get to call it a day for this.
Well, we thank our viewers and listeners for those fantastic responses. Nigerians are fantastic people, always full of hope and full of prayers. We need to add some more action to our prayers and to our words. What should we do? Ensure that you have an investment, meaningful investment. Don't rely on salaries. Salaries do not always come. And take home pays, don't take people home most of the time. So invest, have a trade, have a skill, have something that brings money to you, have multiple streams of income. I think we've advertised or we've discussed with some people who have even come on this platform to say they can show people how to make alternative income. You know, so in the times that we're living that are challenging and are difficult, you have to devise strategies for survival as Nigerians. Nigeria is passing through a lot, but we don't have to go the way of Nigeria. We can make our own economy better as individuals. That's why you see that in spite of what Nigerians are passing through, Nigerians who are making it, even here in Jos. It is the best time for some people now at this difficult time. So in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. We want to thank those who have donated for the Unity FM farm. Please bring in more donations. Come and see how the farm looks like. Take part actively. Be part of the happening. You know, they say there are 3 categories of people on earth. The first category are those who don't know what is happening. The second category are those who watch things happen. But the third category are those who make things happen. I want you to belong to that third category of those who make things happen. Let's make Unity FM Farm happen, and let's make it happen. Let's make it happen in such a way that we can support people who are passing through challenges financially when it comes to feeding, taking care of themselves. So be part of those who make things happen.
All right. Be part of those who make things happen. So be part of those who make a farm, Unity Farm work. Barrister, your parting word, please.
Yes, my parting words. On a sad note, I want to condole with the family of Danjuma Musa Medo. He died on Sunday, and his funeral is taking place today. He's a brother. We went to the same primary school together. We lost him. It's a sad one. I condole with the entire family. Thank you so much, and God bless.
All right, thank you. That's the much we'll be able to take on today's edition of Unity Trend for this lovely Thursday morning. Tomorrow, God's willing, being Friday, God in His grace and mercy again will help us to be here, and we will continue. Before then, I would love to appreciate the crew who made this possible. Our GSM, Shamsuddin Kabir, DJ Baz, and engineer Tijani. Of course, a community broadcast comes your way on our radio arm. Stay tuned and enjoy. Tomorrow, we'll be here. See you. Bye-bye.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer man